Hello everybody, it's Marie from Skeletorama again. Came out of House Shop. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little different from the journal video. Since I do both journals and miniatures, I'm going to kind of alternate. And before I do any more of the miniature making videos for different pieces of furniture or whatnot, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a tour of my Mad Scientist's Mansion dollhouse that I'm working on that these miniatures go into. So I've got a couple pieces of furniture and you'll see them as we go along. But you know, I figured I had to have something in here in front of my hands and something to block the light because I still haven't sussed that out. But at any rate, so I'm going to give you guys a tour of the dollhouse, and just know that the first two little segments where I'm showing you the front and the back view of the entire dollhouse, they are going to be in portrait view. The entire video is not in portrait view. It is in landscape. It's just, you know, obviously the dollhouse is taller than it is wide, so I had to do it that way in order to accommodate it. But sit back, enjoy, and hope you like. Okay, so welcome to the grand tour of the dollhouse in its current state. So this is the front of it. This is Allison Jr. dollhouse by Real Good Toys. This is the same one that Bentley made into the Addams Family Mansion. Hers is just stunning. Mine is a little more like it is for the kit sort of thing, except obviously I painted it. It comes with shutters that you can use that are just hideous. So I added extra shutters to those, bought those separately. And then of course the front door, I'm still undecided. I mean, it looks okay from this side, but it's not kind of as complex as I would expect one from a Victorian house, and just kind of sticks out weird to me. So I may be changing that. And then I'll show you a little bit more of what you're seeing poking out from the top as the widow's walk type thing that I'm working on, but I'll show you that when I spin the house around, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, so here we have the wide shot of the house turned around where you can see in all the different rooms here. So you have a living room on the ground floor and a dining room, and then you go up a level and you have a study and another study, and then on the top floor is a bedroom and what will be the Mad Scientist lab. There's also a room on the very top. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do about that, but I'll give you guys a closer look at the top area here in a second, and that will also explain why I have a dish of copper colored plastic skulls sitting there too. So this is the house, and what we'll do is we'll do a tour of each floor. So depending on how long it is, I'll do all of the house in one, or I might break it up. We'll see how much I babble. So let me go in for a closer look at the top without, you know, moving the camera too much to make y'all sick. Okay, so here we are. This is the roof area of the house, and I moved the big piece because when I tried to film this the last time, it got in the way and made a big mess of everything. So it's being penalized. It's over in the corner right now, but I do have a smaller piece of it here. So what this is this came from Hobby Lobby, I think, and it was in their unfinished wood section. It's like this fencing, and so I stained it. But the problem is, see how it's got the white wire on there? And when you stain it, of course, it looks like garbage, and I'm not going to sit there with a Sharpie and try to color that in. So since I make jewelry, I have jewelry wire, so I'm thinking of using copper, either 18 or 20 gauge, and redoing the wire for this. And then this will go on here kind of as, you know, widow's walk sort of stuff. And then these skulls here, it's just a bag of plastic skulls I got on clearance, and I've painted them copper. So these will have either a rust or a patina finish. I haven't really decided yet. And I was thinking of putting these on all of the finials that go around and seeing how that looked, because, you know, it wouldn't be me if there weren't skulls all over everything. So that's probably what's going to happen there. And then at the top here you see, you know, where they have that Halloween Village type stuff at Michael's. And then right after Halloween, now stuff goes on clearance. So I got these two, and I'm not sure if I'm going to leave them this way, if I'm going to repaint them, what I'm going to do with them, but I think they're going to be like statuary up here on this. Haven't really figured that out yet, but anyway, so that is the roof area, and we will do a tour of the rest of the house. Alright, here we are on the first floor. So this is the first room, this is the living room, so it's coming off of the main entrance. The door here, it doesn't have a door knob just yet because I'm not 100% sure I want to keep it. Or at least not maybe repaint it, because it matches the outside, It's the one that came with the house, and it's kind of really not, you know, it's this Victorian kind of over the top theme, and it's this super plain door, and so I'm kind of on the fence about that. I may try to remove it and replace it with a different door, see if I can do that without destroying it. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, I'll just have to repaint it or something. So on the first floor here, we've got the hardwood floors come with this particular kit. They come molded into the kit, which is very nice. The new one I'll be doing does not have that. And the wallpaper is all scrapbook paper. So the plain, I believe this room is graphic 45. It's one of the ones, it's from the Patterns and Solids. It's not solid, but it does read as a solid. It's got a very fine pattern to it. So we have those, and then this is from Stamperia. They have an Oriental kit, and it's from that, and I thought that was just gorgeous. So that's that there. And of course we have one of the carpets from my kit on there. You have the stairs going up. I do still need to do stair railings and things for these. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it once you already have it in, which should be interesting. We have a little portrait gallery, so most of these are from my kit, as is the painting in here. And then I do have some other ones from pictures that I found online that were really cool, but they're contemporary, so they're not out of any kind of copyright stuff. So obviously I'm not going to use those, but I can use them in my house. So there they are. And then the stair runner is just ribbon. It's a jacquard, I believe, ribbon that I found on Amazon. It's about an inch and a half wide. Perfect size for stair runners in a dollhouse. So I use that on there. And we have this kind of area under the stairs. It's a bit problematic because when you're looking at it, you know, head on, you don't really see what's under there. But if you move to the side, of course, you're gonna see that there needs to be stuff there, and look weird if there wasn't. So right now I have this. This is from one of Era Bentley from Bentley House Minis tutorials. This house tour will be a lot of things that were either inspired by or directly made from one of her tutorials, but this was for the cardboard house is what she did it for. And I did mine in wood, and of course the drawers do open, and the little drawer pulls are, this is a bracelet link, jewelry bracelet link, and then there's an eye pin in there so you have something to grab, because dear God, those little handle things, drawer pulls for miniature stuff are really expensive. I didn't realize how expensive they were. So yeah, that's I'm doing my own. So she has some that she does with paper that are really cute, so I may use some of those as well. But yeah, I'm not going to be buying drawer pulls anytime soon. But anyway, so I did this. It's supposed to be a vanity, in the tutorial she did, I just left the vanity part off, so it could be like a hall table sort of thing. And so that fits under here. And then we have the grandfather clock. So this, I really wanted a grandfather clock. I didn't know how to make one. So as I do with a lot of things, I just went online to Google and I pulled up a bunch of different pictures of grandfather clocks. And essentially it's a box, you know, with a fancy top. So the top, of course, is done from lightweight chipboard so that I could curve it. And, you know, did the little glass door type thing. It doesn't open or anything, but I printed out a clock face that I found online, stuck that in there. The weights are just chain with dowel that's been painted gold attached to them to look like the little weights in the grandfather clock. And the pendulum, it doesn't move or anything, but the bottom of it, that's a button. So it's got the Viking Helm of Awe symbol in there. I don't know if you can see that because I can't see my camera from here, but I did that for the pendulum, and it's just on a stick basically and then glued in there. And then of course I do this, and about a week later Spellbound Miniatures, of course, does a kit and tutorial on grandfather clocks. It's like, really guys, you couldn't have done this a week ago when I needed you. So I would have rather made theirs than mine, because theirs would have come out nicer, but it is what it is. So we have the little table here. This is just the oval wood pieces from, you know, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, wherever. I've got two of them stuck together, and the bottom one I beveled, which it's really tricky to bevel round things, but I did somewhat okay. And then I just glued it to two. These are like candlestick holder sort of shaped wood pieces that I got. They already came like this. I just stained them kind of poorly, but and then when I set it down, it looked like it was going to tip over, so I added this bottom piece kind of as a stabilizer. So I'm sure I'll remake this at some point. But we have that, and then we have my cat. He wants you to know that he's going to have some water, so good for him. We have the curtains over here, so I'm going to take this off of here. I made these little curtain rod holders out of wire and beads and things like that. I'll probably do a tutorial because they came out really good, but I wanted to be able to, if I change my mind or came up with a better way to do curtains, I want to be able to change them. So this is just cheesecloth with lace at the top, and the way the lace is at the top, it's got a spot where you can put the little jump rings through, and the jump rings were the same exact size as the dowel, so I was able to make little hanging curtains on it. And so this is just a dowel that I stained, and I glued beads and things to it so that this can go now in and out of here when I change it. And then of course the couch, as you can see, the couch is too long. It goes in front of the door, and so I'm kind of like a bull in a china shop when I make things. I just make stuff and hope it fits, because, you know, God forbid I measure anything. But this, again, if you watch the tutorial I did on how to make the rugs with canvas fabric, which I will, you know, link down below, I use this to show the scale of the rug, and it was done with another one of Ara's tutorials on making a chair, and you'll see that chair a little bit later on in the tour. But once I made the chair, I thought, I wonder if you could make this into a couch. And so again, Google, and I pulled up a picture and got it to about the size that I wanted, or at least thought I wanted. And then I used the picture of the couch itself to make this template for the back, and then used her construction methods for the rest of it. And so these are little box feet, and there's cat fur everywhere, Jesus. These are little box feet that I glued on. They're just the cutest things. They're like these steampunk elephants. I love these things. And of course, you know, they don't have them anymore. So neat. This is just a button. It's a Celtic button that I put on there, and that goes in here. So I'll probably end up remaking the couch and making a couch that fits the room a little better, or two chairs. Haven't really decided on that. And then this can be used in maybe the other dollhouse. It needs more of a wall expanse to go on, so it'll fit. The scale's right, but the room's not right is the problem. So anyways, that is the first floor. So we will move on to the dining room next. So here we are in the second room of the first floor, which is the dining room. So this is to the right of the living room area. And again, wallpaper is scrapbook paper. And I really love using the scrapbook paper for wallpaper because it's nice and thick, providing you get a nice thick. I mean, if you get the normal thin stuff and you go to put it on the walls, it's going to bubble up on you and look terrible. But the Graphic 45 stuff is very thick paper, so Graphic 45, Stamperia, Blue Fern, any of those really higher end scrapbook papers work beautifully for it. And then I use the, it's got a name, I just can't think of it. It's Fabri-Tac, there we go, with acetone base, because again, you're not going to get any of the bubbling in there. So this has Fabri-Tac all under it, and you would never know. If I'd tried that with PVA glue, you would have all kinds of warping and stuff in there. Speaking of Fabri-Tac, excuse the terrible state of my nails, but that's what happens when you work with nail polish and Fabri-Tac, because it's acetone, so it takes it off. So anyways, this is the dining room area. So this table you see here, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this. You know, part of me wants the dollhouse to be, you know, like you could actually move around in it, but most of the dollhouses I see, you have a hard time moving around in. Some of the ones that I have seen, like the small 48th scale ones, the Chinese ones, they're kind of ridiculous because one of them has, like, the bathroom has glass walls so you can see through, and it's right next to the kitchen. It's like, why would you? Yeah. So, but anyways, they seem a little bit cramped anyway, so that, you know, I could probably get away with it. So I may or may not leave the table in, but this was the original table for the Mad Scientist Lab, and see how long that is? So it's made to go along that big long wall. Well, when I had to change rooms, once I put in the little hanging skeleton in the Mad Scientist Lab, which you'll see, it wouldn't fit. It went past the door, so I had to make a new table for it. So after I did that, I thought, what am I going to do with this? Well, it does kind of fit in there, so maybe it'll be like a buffet table. We'll see if me and the polymer clay gets along making fake food. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. So I have another one of my carpets from my kit, and the painting from the kit right here. And this is a frame that I did from it. Same with those on that side. And I used that same kind of jacquard ribbon that I used for the stair runners. I used to do the table thing too. So I just kind of folded it into a point and glued it on there. And the dishes, so this is from Heather Tracy, who does Thicket Works Studios. This is one of her kits, and it's brilliant. So, and it was actually free on their free download. And you can make the little plates, but most importantly, you can make the little silverware. So this is like a medieval dining set, But look at this. Is this not the cutest thing you've ever seen? So this is just layers of thin chipboard, and you put them together, and it's very, very fiddly. And then you use this method that she has where once you do that, you add super glue to it, and it really strengthens the piece. So whereas this would be normally very flimsy, it's actually very strong because it's been saturated with super glue. And when she talks about super glue getting hot when you use it, she ain't kidding, because, you know, I'm putting this stuff on there, and if you do a big enough piece, you'll see smoke start to come off. I'm like, I hope that's okay. But it's got the little, you can make the little serving things. It's got the little medieval eating tools and stuff. So that's what I have on there. The chairs, of course, I made the chairs myself. You can tell because they're various stages of straight, but I needed some chairs, and so I did these, just real simple ones. Nothing to write home about. And then of course I used these are bracelet links. So when they have the loops on them, if I don't want the loops for whatever reason, I just cut them off with my cutters. And it's got some Dresden trim. Dresden is like the German scrap paper. It's metallic, and it's raised design, and so I just colored it with my Copic marker, because alcohol-based marker, so you can go over it and over it until you get the shade that you like, since it's translucent. And made that trim, which also serves to disguise my crappy joinery in there, so that works out nice. This is another brilliant, and this is in the same kit with all the little silverware. This is the cutest thing I ever saw. So she did a tutorial with these, and you get the bases for the cups, and you use, I think I used matchstick for it, and then I have beads. So these are spacer beads, that's a tube beads, more spacer beads, and bead caps for it. And then these glasses are made using, I guess you can get the vitamin capsules, the gelatin capsules, and to make your own vitamins. I don't know what people are doing with them, but whatever. They make brilliant cups. So I made the little goblets using her. So I will definitely link her tutorial below, because it's absolutely brilliant. So we have that. And then I have back here, see if I can reach it without breaking everything. I made a little cake stand type thing, because that looked really sad back there by itself. And so I just used wire, I think that's an eye pin, and beads, and the same sort of principle as making those, and I made some in descending sizes. So I need to still make some stuff to put on there. I don't know what I want to put on there yet. And then I needed something in this corner area here. So this, I just made this myself. It's very basic. It's done using the same kind of principles. I watch a lot of, it's Julie Warren. So Julie Warren makes brilliant furniture, and she makes all of hers out of wood. So I watch her stuff a lot, and that's where I learned to bevel all these things. And it's amazing, just putting a bevel on something makes it look so much more finished. But I needed something for there, and it's a basic enough concept to make like a buffet. So it's a box and something in there, and then you've got your drawer, which is another box. And I used the same kind of drawer pull idea as I did on the piece that was in the hallway. So you have the drawer in there, and you can put stuff. So if I wanted to, when I'm not using it, I can take all that silverware and stuff and put it in here and store it. And of course this is that same ribbon as this. This was a little bit narrower. I had gotten both ribbons to see which one I wanted for the stair runner, and this is a little too narrow for it, but it's still very pretty, so I wanted to use it. So I made a little buffet, and so these are beads holding it. But yeah, this is all just, you can buy the packs of the wood at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, wherever, or I just go on Amazon and I'll get basswood, and because it's a higher quality than that, you can kind of tell the difference when you look at some of these pieces. But you know, it's more of a plywood, the stuff that you get at Hobby Lobby and Michael's, whereas basswood is solid, and so it comes out a lot nicer. So anyways, that is the dining room tour. So now we will go on to floor number 2. So here we are on the second floor. So the first room and the second floor is the main study here. It's got kind of 2 studies because I like books, and I like putting a lot of weird stuff in there, and it's kind of a mad scientist lab. So you'd have maybe the regular study and then the other weird study, who knows. So the wallpaper again is scrapbook paper. It's graphic 45. So the 2 solid walls are from one of their paper and solids sets, and the pattern wall is from, I don't remember which one that's from. It's from one of the older ones though. I think it's like the fairy tale one or something like that. But we have the stairs are coming up here. I still need to do the stair railing in here to go along with the rest of the railing I haven't done yet, so we're getting there. I have another one of my rugs on here that I do with the canvas that I have the kit for. Again, the art on the back. I do have one little resin frame that I had, and the rest of them are frames that I made using my kit. And then of course I have the tapestry here. This one I attached to the wall, so I can't quite pull it off, but again, the hanger for this is just one of those dowels that I stained, and then I have buttons and it fit right in the button shank, so it worked out nice, and so I just have those kind of as hangers for that. Again, we have the same sort of curtains. We have the desk, so this is another Era one. This is the captain's desk from the captain's quarters. So this one I did make out of the chipboard, and I cut out, and stupid me, put the handles on before watching the video of her doing them to realize, oh, you're supposed to make them come out, duh. And so the drawers open, and the stuff on the top's not glued, so I'll do it very carefully. But I have little letters. I have, you know, drawer lining in there with scrapbook paper, stuff like that. Okay, and so we've got another chair. So again, this chair was done using her tutorial, and then I printed out a different chair that I liked and changed the back of it. So this is chair number 2. I did this one, and then I did the couch. And I found I had these wooden beads that work perfectly as legs for it, because again, anything you do in miniature, like the little legs and the little drawer pulls, are just insanely expensive. I don't know why, just to bother me, I think. Okay, so we got the desk there. I'll pull this forward. So this is from Nik the Booksmith's kit. So this is globe, and it spins. It's made out of a ping pong ball, and it's really fun. It takes a while. This is like globe number 5 or so. And then I painted it and sealed it and destroyed it when I painted it. But then I'm like, okay, well, I've already screwed it up. So I went over it with Copic marker, and that actually turned it to this color, and I really liked it the way it came out. Thank God, because I really did not want to do another one. But her kit comes with the things to make these little arms with it's got this printed part here. And this stand that I made for it is made just using the offcuts from all these centerpieces, because these are just layers and layers of thin chipboard. And I just stacked them and glued them and added some dowels to them, and have another one of my Helm of Awe buttons here. And this is some Finnabair gears. This is some Dresden that I colored. It was originally silver, I think, and I used my Copic markers on that. This is a game piece that I cut a notch into so I could fit that in there, and beads, all sorts of stuff. So this is really fun. She has a video on her site about that. That's cool. And then of course I got the bookcases. I'll pull these forward. So these were one of the first things that I made, which was like, well, a bookcase is a box with some other smaller boxes kind of in it, so I could do that. So I just made these out of the strip wood packs that you get, and I left them pretty much. I didn't cut them, because if I had cut these, they would be so wonky. But I have the different books from my kit that I put in there. These are from one of Nik the Booksmith's little mini specimen box kits. And then I have, you know, the scrolls, and these are glued in. Stuff on top's glued on. That's a charm. That's a charm. Usually with the charms, they'll have a loop, so I take the loop off with my pliers. But this is just a little apothecary bottle with some labels, and I stuck some of the plastic bones in there, that sort of thing. So, you know, all the stuff that I figured they'd have in a study. Put these back where they live, which was way too close to that. Oopsie. And then I have like a little occasional table here, because this spot was kind of blank and looked weird, so I figured I'd put a table there. Originally the table that was in the living room, which is this one here, this was what was here. But then I got some round pieces of wood at the same craft store and everything. And I thought, I want to make a table that's like one of those half round tables that sits against the wall. And so I had these legs, and so I took the circle and I cut it in half and glued the top and the bottom together so it was nice and thick. And I stuck the legs on, and it looked really weedy with just those legs sticking there. So I'm like, oh, how am I gonna make this have something this way? Because this is all wood. Well, what I did was I took some of the strip wood and I soaked it and I bent it. and I actually curved it around and made those curved pieces for it. And it was super easy because I got it wet and bent it and used another one of the round ones that I had and taped the heck out of it while it dried around it, so it's going to have the same curvature as this. That worked out really good. And of course I have a little stack of books with my little, that's a skull bead and a birthday candle. And I thought, oh, I'll put the birthday candle and I'll light it and I'll let it, drip the wax down. Yeah, guess what birthday candles really don't do anymore? They don't drip, which is bogus. So I had a votive candle that did, and so I just lit that and it was black, and I held it over it and I just dripped it down on it, and then it was stuck to the books afterwards. You can tell, you can kind of see where it was cut a little bit, but it looks cute. So that's there for now. I don't know if that's what I'm going to leave there or if I'll put something else there. But that is the second floor study. So we will look at the more arcane study next. So here we are in the second study on the second floor. So this one's just to the right of the main study. And you'll notice you have the stairs going up on this one. I did this backwards somehow, and I managed to put the stairs on the wrong side. I still don't know how I did that because I followed the instructions, but oh well. So with this one, this is kind of the more, spooky study kind of thing. So I'll take stuff out as we go, but there's pictures. You may recognize this from the video on the artwork. This is the shot that I used for that. But I have a little table here. So this table is just, the base part is one of the Tim Holtz finials for the boxes that he has, the wooden boxes. And I added a bunch of layers of circular, I think this is foam core on there because it's easier to cut round, just because I wanted to make it a little bit higher. And we just have a round wood piece that I stained, and I used gold Sharpie on to give it this kind of, it's got like a moon and stuff, and then the lace is the table skirting. But I love these little tarot cards. So these are from Alpha Stamps. Laura Carson did a set of tarot cards. I'll bring this up so you can see. Hopefully, I can't see if I'm in focus, but they're Alice in Wonderland tarot cards, and it's all the major arcana. So I did like a little tarot card spread thing with it, and then I stacked the rest of them up here. Put a couple little teacups. These are bead caps, and one of those round glass beads you get with, like, how you put stuff in vases to stick flowers and junk in. It was real popular in the 90s. That's what that is. So that's my little crystal ball table there. I'm going to move this out. And here we go. This is the original chair that I made using Era's tutorial on Bentley House Minis, and I've got one of my books just kind of sitting in there. This is Magic Circle, is the name of that book. But this is the original one that I did, and this follows her pattern that she had, and obviously the methods to put it together. And then I just used chopsticks. Every time we get food like from the Chinese place and they put chopsticks in there. I grew up in Japan and I don't use chopsticks. It's just, I'm just not up for it. Hated using them there and don't like them to use them here, but I do save them because they're wood and they make great little stuff like this, little chair legs. So that's the original chair. Sort of move this out of the way just because we have so much stuff in there. It's kind of crammed. So we have some more bookcases. So these ones don't have as much stuff. They have more books and then things you would have maybe picked up on travels. So that's a Tim Holtz resin skull. That is a bead. I believe that is, I can't remember what the heck that is. It's not tiger's eye, but it's something similar. And then this is also a bead from my jewelry making stash. And one more of these. Here we go. Now that is tiger's eye. And that's another one of those skull beads. And you'll see another one of those in the Mad Scientist lab. And they're ones I had for making necklaces and I just never got around to using. And I thought, oh, that would be perfect on here. So again, these are a lot more book heavy because this is going to be like the research type library sort of thing where you could go sit and read. And then I was like, I need to make something. Originally it was for under these stairs here, but it didn't really fit very good. You couldn't see it. And I wanted you to be able to see it, just not the back of it. And I'll show you why in a second. But I'm like, I gotta have a mummy and a sarcophagus. So here is my mummy and a sarcophagus. So this is just a piece of wood here. And then the sarcophagus is made out of polymer clay. And see, you can see the bubbles. So apparently I'm not that good with polymer clay, so that's why it's gonna be to the back. but it's got the mummy in it, so you're not going to notice that part. But I made the mummy out of foil and got it basically in the shape that I wanted. Then I covered that with polymer clay and baked it off, and then I took cheesecloth and Mod Podge, and I wrapped it around and around and around it to make it look like the dressings on there. And then I added some gold paint to it, and I made a little scarab. Scarab turned out better than the sarcophagus did, I think. But once the mummy was done, I did the polymer clay for the sarcophagus, and I laid the mummy on it, and then I kind of traced a shape around it, and then I made the walls for it and painted them up. So it's kind of cute. And then this right here and this are actually fabric. I have some Robert Kaufman quilting fabric that has Egyptian designs, and they're all like in these stripes. And so I put the stripes on here as sort of the decoration for that. So that's that room, and again I will put the furniture back in once I've stopped videoing, so you don't have to watch that part. But that's the end of the second floor, so on to the third floor. So here we are on the first room of the third floor. So this is the bedroom area. This is the larger of the two rooms. It was originally going to be the mad scientist laboratory, so I could put the most stuff in it. But when I made the bed and tried to put the bed in the other room, because some idiot, and that would be me, managed to do this backwards, the stairs should be coming up in this room. Oops. I still don't know how it did that, but hey, at least you'll know if you ever want to have stairs on opposite sides, it'll work, because I didn't even realize I did it. So anyways, this room has the wallpaper is graphic paper again, so this is graphic 45. In the back, that's the Sherlock Holmes one, the detective, greatest detective or whatever it was. It's got the poison labels, because see, it was supposed to be the science lab, but oops. And then this is Bo Bunny's Double Dot Vintage. On the other side with the dots, it's got this really pretty damask pattern, these rich colors, so that's what I used for that. And there's only the 3 pieces of furniture in here because they're already eating this room alive. I haven't put the portraits up yet. I still haven't quite decided the actual layout. I need to do like a nightstand or something there, but these will be the portraits. These are from Michael's. At Halloween they do these like lenticular stickers, and so these are the lenticular stickers put in some Tim Holtz metal frames, and so they're going to go up like I think over the bed or something. But I haven't put any of the artwork in yet. I got a whole pile of it over here that's going to be going in and around this room. I just need to decide final what I'm going to do with that kind of thing. So of the 3 pieces of furniture, we'll do these first. I'm going to have to move stuff out of the way so you can see things, but we've got the vanity, so I will turn this around. So there it is there. And I took again, this was inspired from one of Ara's videos that she did. It was she was actually just doing a finish on a piece that she had made. She did custom for somebody in order, and I really liked the design of it, so I just kind of patterned the general shape and everything around what she had done in that video. And for the mirrors, that is duct tape, like actual aluminum tape you would use on ductwork, because it gives you enough of a mirror that you know it's a mirror, but it's not super shiny, and you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And then I have plastic over the top of it to protect it. And I have all these bottles, and you'll see a lot more of those when we get into the Mad Scientist Lab. These are just beads. So if you have any beads, especially if you have a bunch of like weird random ones, and I'll probably do a tutorial at some point on how to make the little bottles, but I just went through my bead collection, and since I make jewelry, it's a huge bead collection. And I found ones that would look good as the bottle, and then I used bead caps for the little feet, and some of the spacers, the little that have the hole in the center to use for jewelry. I put that as like the collars, and then different size ones. A lot of these are Swarovskis that you see on here because I use those in what I do. So that's those bottles. The vase, that's bead. This is from my kit, and so is the books. No, the books are actually from a kit that I got on Alpha Stamps, because they're like 1950s housewife books, so I put those there. I figured that'd be kind of funny. This right here, I was thinking, oh, I wish I had one of those jewelry display things to put some jewelry on it. It's like, hey, stupid, you have a real one. Why don't you sit it next to you and then make one? And so I did. So it's just covered with like a Panay velvet that I had gotten a remnant of a while back. Same stuff up from the couch. Another one of the skull beads and candle drippings. And I tried to paint this so it looked more black, but it didn't work out so good. But it does kind of look aged, so I went ahead and left it. And the drawers all do open. Let's see if I can get in here without knocking the camera. Okay, the drawers open. I don't have anything in them yet, but I will at some point. So that is the vanity. And I will move that up and out of the way so you can see the bed that ate the room. So I love how this bed came out. So again, another Aira tutorial with the mattress. If you can kind of see it under there, it's got a box spring the mattress. There's ticking on the mattress, and I did the little, you know, knots and stuff in there anyway, even though you're not going to see it. And made the bedding for it. But here is the bed, and I swear there's like some weird thing that lives in the dollhouse because stuff moves around the way it shouldn't move, and the cats definitely don't get in there, so it's just bizarre. But anyways, this is some regular fabric. I made the pillows and little throw pillows. And then here's the bed, and of course I had to put skulls on everything because that's just what I do. And these are all Tim Holtz stuff, along with bead caps and metal beads and things like that on there. So I'll move this gigantic, here comes extreme close-up, sorry, no other way to get it out. And of course I have another one of my carpets here, and then I have the armoire. So the armoire, again, this was made watching one of Spellbound Miniatures tutorials. They did theirs out of chipboard cut using a Cricut. I did mine out of wood, but it's the same basic thing. And then all these gears are chipboard cutouts for like mixed media. I have a whole bunch of them, so oops, sorry, knocked the camera. Okay, so I use those on there. And then the drawer pulls, these are Tim Holtz kind of fastener things. Drawer pulls, door knobs, whatever the hell they are. And then I did hinges with mine. I kind of hid the hinges inside. And you open it up and it has little coats and little boxes. The coats look great when you squint from far away, but when you look at them, you know, close up, they're kind of cheesy, but that's just faux fur made into a coat shape. And I thought, you know, I cannot have a wardrobe without having trouble getting the damn hanger up. A passage to Narnia in there, so that's what I put. I made, God knows, sorry about that. I made, all the hangers are wire. Again, the jewelry stuff I do wire work, so I know my way around some wire, and I left one of them undone here, so you can see it's just wire. And then I used a matchstick and stained it for this center part so it looks more like a regular hanger. But then we have the passage to Narnia here, and this is Tim Holtz mica flakes for the snow. That's just a regular picture that I found. I think it's from the movie art cover. And I added a ton of glitter and made a frame. And I'm not going to show you because I'm sure I will knock the camera then, but this can come out. So if I change my mind later on and don't want it and want to put it somewhere else, I can. So got little coats back in there. But yeah, it's really tricky to get these hangers to where you can hang stuff up, but the doors will still close, you know. So, and it's just a dowel rod there for the curtain rod. But yeah, we have all the winter coats in the boxes. These are all made out of scrapbook paper scraps. I have tons of those from doing junk journals and things. So I got all my scraps and got all the super colorful ones and just made a bunch of boxes and hat boxes and stuck them in there. So that is that. And I will put this back where it lives for now because, again, yeah, this furniture just eats this room alive. So I may find a different way to do stuff. Haven't really completely decided on that, but I won't put the furniture back in on camera because then I'll knock the camera again 600 times. But that is the bedroom. So next we have the Mad Scientist Laboratory. And here we are on the third floor, room number 2. This is the Mad Scientist Laboratory. As you can see, he needs a lot more equipment in there. This is the one I haven't worked on the most just because it's going to be kind of difficult to figure out, okay, what am I going to do in here? So again, graphic 45. This is patterned after, oh God, I can't remember his name, William Morris wallpaper. And this is from, I believe this is from the Sherlock Holmes one that they did as well a few years ago. So we have that. We have the work table. I had to make a new work table because the work table that's down in the dining room that I may or may not leave there was the original one. But again, it was made for the bedroom, which had a much larger wall expanse. So when I put it in here with the skeleton in place, there's really nowhere for it to go. It went in front of the door again. So, and I wasn't gonna like cut it in half because I'm not that good, but I made a new work table for it here. And so we have the little test tubes. This was a kit from Alpha Stamps, I believe it was, yes. And it comes with the little test tubes, and this is made out of chipboard, and you just color and paint it. And then this, I love this. So this, I had this piece here. It's a picture from some kit that I have for doing stuff. I think it's Laura Carson, but it's just like a machine front, and I had glued it to a piece of wood, and I still wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And I saw Tim Holtz did his, I think it was for the Halloween release of stuff, the live that he did, and he showed the different projects that people made, and somebody made this really cool thing where it lit up because he was introducing the new lights that had the different colors, I think, with that one, but she put them in the vials and made the vials into kind of like, well, you'll see, lights here. So this doesn't have a back, it's got the light thing in there, and I put holes in it with my Dremel. That was an adventure, so that the lights would come through, but when you turn it on, it shines through some of the stuff in the front, and then these light up. And so these are just glass vials, like you see for like the Halloween stuff, and I used alcohol inks to color them, and the alcohol ink makes interesting patterns, and I added crackle to it so that way it would kind of break it up so you wouldn't see that there's just, you know, little string lights in there. And then I added the different curled wires, and I think these are bottle caps, those are gears. The wire around there got more gears on there, but this is the first like little lighty uppy piece. These are half round pearls and a copper color, so they make really good rivets for things, and then glossy accents on, you know, the knob and the dials and stuff like that to give it some dimension. But that is his little, whatever the hell this thing is. God only knows what it does. He's a mad scientist, it could do anything. Okay, so we have that, and then excuse the arm here as I reach back, and then I got the little skeletons. They had them on sale after Halloween, and I thought I need to make a little hanging up skeleton. So this is just wood, scrap wood, and made into a box, and put a little hanging thing on it. It's just copper wire that I bent, and then I hung a little cheesy skeleton on it. And since it sits far enough in the back, it's not like, you know, it has to be super detailed because there'll be stuff in front of it. This is one of my favorite pieces though. This is the cabinet with all the potions in it. And let me see if I've got over here, yes. That started its life as this. And let me get that so it's not destroying the white balance. But this is one of those little boxes that you get around Halloween time at Michael's, and the unfinished wood boxes. And if you get them after Halloween, they're like $1. And so I just took the hinges off and all the hardware, and I stained it. So I still have this piece, which will probably, I'm going to give it a shot, and I'll probably do that one on camera, I think, as the base of a couch, because Era did a vampire couch that came out really cute, and I thought, oh, I should probably try it with that leftover piece that I have from making this. And since it had the wood cut out for the hinges, and I didn't know of a way to fill that to make it not look terrible, I just used extra of the wood from doing all the trim in the dollhouse, and mitered it and put it on the front after I glued everything in. But again, we have all these bottles. So these bottles are beads here. There's some apothecary style bottles. Some are Tim Holtz, some of the generic Michael's ones they do. This right here is a labradorite skull bead from jewelry making. That was really cool. So I'm like, I have to have that in there. And then the poison labels, I have a kit on Etsy that has like the poster stuff that you see stuck to the back of it, and a bunch of different charts and things to make scrolls out of. It also has some little teeny poison labels in there as well. So that's what I used for the fronts of all the bottles. And again, they're super easy, so I may do another thing like this and do a tutorial for it if anybody wants to see that. But yeah, it's my favorite piece in this whole room. And of course, we have the curtains, and then the stairs, which are on the wrong side because I'm an idiot. And I followed those instructions, I swear, to the letter. I'm very careful about that. I still managed to put this on backwards. It's such an on-brand thing for me to do. But I still have to do the railing, safety railing for it. And then I just have to figure out what else I want in here. I haven't quite decided all the little small stuff. There's gonna be tons of like papers and things everywhere. I was thinking of doing maybe a chalkboard here, some kind of something, maybe another weird machine deal over here. Who knows? So that one, as it progresses, the cool thing is now I can, if I make some stuff for it, I can make it in videos, and if it comes out cool, well, if it doesn't come out cool, it will never see the light of day, but if it does, I can make a video out of it so you guys can make your own as well. So that concludes that part of it. Okay, so that was the Mad Scientist Mansion so far. It's probably about 2/3 of the way done. So as I continue to make things for it, you know, like I said in the video, if it comes out cool, I'll video myself doing them, so that way I don't have double of everything hanging around the house. But I do have another dollhouse that I'm going to be doing. It's one of the Painted Lady kits from Real Good Toys, so that should be a lot of fun. Not sure how much of the actual building of the dollhouse process that I can film, because I don't really have a setup for it. I barely have a setup for this, so I will do my best with that and keep you updated. So videos will probably be, you know, miniatures and then journal, then miniature, then journal, just so that everybody's got something to watch, because I do both pretty much equally. So I'll try to work them in as best I can so nobody gets too bored. But yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time. I think next time we're going to work on some miniature canned food, because the new dollhouse is going to have a kitchen. This one did not have a kitchen, so I'm looking forward to doing a whole bunch of kitchen stuff with that one. So that should be a lot of fun. So I will see you guys later. Everybody take care. Hej med er, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.